Hello everyone, I'm Elusive Table here, and I'm going to bring you a video about my thoughts on the monk changes coming in Legion. So, first things first, I've not played monk for a very long time. I've played it since last May. I made it this character on a Sunday. I was 100 by it the following Friday because I love the class that much. I started off as Brewmaster, leveled all the way to 100 as Brewmaster, and then switched to Mistweaver and was immediately kind of thrown off by all the changes, but made my way, learned the spec through the Proving Grounds, did some dungeons, I've done some PvE, and now I've gotten into LFR and normal raids. Don't have a raiding guild, I'm on a roleplay server, so I've just kind of been doing the whole pug normal raids, but I've had an enjoyable time so far, really enjoying the class. And I feel not like an expert, but I feel knowledgeable enough to be able to talk kind of about the mechanics, what I've personally enjoyed, and what I find most enjoyable about the class. So, first to start off, let's look at the changes. Changes, they have basically said no more fist weaving. That's put in a forum post by Lore. It's like currently the top rated forum, the most active forum thread, I guess. It's capped out. I don't know if someone's made a second one, but there's also the monk forums that are exploding with unhappy people right now. But let's look at the actual changes. The mastery's changed. Mastery is different. It used to be to drop healing spheres all over the place. Now they're just going to give you an extra heal after you heal someone. Cool. Nobody paid attention to the healing spheres. I didn't. I forgot to defuse explode them most of the time, and nobody else cared to stand on them. Soothing Mist, it's now a passive. What happens is you cast one of your other spells, and Soothing Mist immediately happens. They haven't said whether it's interruptible and whether you can move while doing it. Currently there's a talent that lets you move while doing it. But this feels very weird to me. One of my favorite interactions in the Mistweaver kit was the ability to click on a mob, Soothing Mist, immediately go into Surging Mist, pop off my Enveloping Mist, and continue with the Surging with more power. I could do all that. The whole interaction felt very nice. Really felt like I was weaving these heals together to make something happen, and it was oftentimes enough to get a tank or a DPS who had taken too much damage out of trouble. This, we don't know the final details on it, but it just looks like you stand there and passively heal them after you've cast one of your other abilities, which does not feel nearly as fun. I'm not doing anything while I'm doing this passive heal. I am just standing there, and it is immediately shut off whenever I take another action. So, some of the triggers for this is Infuse, Enveloping Mist, and Vivify, so let's look at those. Infuse. 1.5 second cast, fast, efficient spell, heals a target for a minor amount. Kind of like Surging Mist, or Priest's Heal, or Healing Touch for Druids. You just kind of cast it, you heal them, voila. It's standard, which is exactly why I don't like it. It's standard. There's no way to make it instant cast, from what we've seen. Soothing Mist won't make it instant cast. It's just kind of your go-to healing spell when Renewing Mist is on cooldown and nobody's taking enough damage to justify Enveloping Mist. Moving on to Enveloping Mist, 2 second cast, rest target and healing mist, healing them for a huge amount over 6 seconds, and increasing healing received by 30 seconds. Kind of how it functions now. It's based off of mana since Chi's completely done with. And instead, again, there's no way to make it instant, it's just a 2 second cast. I'm not going to say this one's standard, but it still feels very, well, standard. It's not unique anymore. You don't have the ability to make it instant or just cast it. And so, essentially the challenge is, if you want to play the new Mistweaver in Legion, what you do is you go here, cast your spell, and then immediately cast Soothing Mist afterwards. Go in, cast a spell, Soothing Mist afterwards. And you're basically playing what they're detailing out here. And just in this brief attempting it, it doesn't feel nearly as fun. It feels honestly boring. Because I'm sitting there casting. Woohoo! Whereas before, I was always clicking a button. Alright? I'm sitting there cast this, global cooldown off, cast this again, global cooldown, cast this, boom, into this, into this, into this. So that's where the satisfaction came in. It felt quick. Quick-paced, fast-paced, I was always pushing buttons, always had something to do, constantly checking on the raid. Instead, I am now standing and waiting for my Soothing Mist to go. Which kind of takes away from the Monk Fantasy. The Monk Fantasy is you're very quick, you're a melee fighter going in, alright? And much like other melee fighters, you have a lot of instant cast things, you're doing things very fast-paced, very quickly, always reacting and acting upon what's changing around you, as people do in a melee. And this slows the class down a ton. They're almost more like casters at this point, which is kind of what I was trying to get away with when I went to Mistweaving. Before I'd played a Warlock and a Mage. Coming here, now I'm playing a melee healer, some familiarity, a lot of differences, but now we're going back to the casting side of things, and that's not what I wanted. It's not what I think many people wanted. I think that's one of the reasons many people liked Mistweaving, because it's so different than the other healers, who are also kind of more in the caster pool. Renewing Mist, this one is now instead of kind of blanket healing everything, and then you uplift, it heals everyone for a large amount over time, or it heals one person for a large amount over time, and then bounces to someone else once you overheal. This, I don't mind. I found there a lot of times I'd sit there, blanket cover everyone with Renewing Mist, and I'd go for uplift, and the amount of healing done, my little meter over here, wouldn't change one bit, because I wouldn't have actually done any healing. It was all overhealing. So this, please, I like it. I like how the uplift combo is done, because a 2-button combo doesn't feel very satisfying. And the fact that there's oftentimes I didn't even use Soothing, Surging, or Enveloping, but because I was sitting there focusing on this 2-damage combo, I'm okay with. That can be gone. We're good. Essence Font. You spin in place 6 allies every second, get healed over time. Lasts for 3 seconds, costs a ton of mana. Not bad. It's kind of an area of effect. Everyone's taking damage. This kind of replaces your blanket heal. Instead of having uplift, you Essence Font, and everyone around you just over 3 seconds is getting healed over time. You heal for a moderate amount when it hits, moderate amount over time. Not too bad. That's fine. Actually looks kind of cool. And Vivify. 5 mana, or 5% mana, not 5 mana. 1.5 second cast. Surge of Invigorating Mist around the target heals him from the nearest injured 2 allies for a moderate amount. So, cast this on tank, heals the melee around him, or the other tank. Not too bad, again. It's just kind of like a standard heal. Standard small area effect heal. With the cast time. And this is where my big problem comes in. All these cast times. Because like I've been going on, it makes the spec feel slower. There's also the removal of Fist Weaving, and between the removal of Fist Weaving and the changing of these abilities really makes the spec feel entirely different, and that's why I think a lot of the Mistweavers are upset, because they've taken things that we've really enjoyed. I don't really think any Mistweavers complaining too much. They may have said the whole switching stances feels clunky, and I totally agree with, it does. But it could have been fixed. There could have been a way to merge these two. I know that's what they had back in MOP. Instead, they just decided to remove it, change you to ranged, and make you a more standard healer. What I'm imagining Blizzard would do is when the beta comes out, we realize that there are talents that will say things like, after you cast a fuse, make a fuse instant cast or something, so you can cast a fuse, Soothing Mist goes off, you cast a fuse again, another Soothing Mist goes off, and it's basically like it never stopped. It's basically how it is now, except you don't have to worry about casting the Soothing Mist. Hopefully they'll do the same thing with Enveloping Mist. Maybe they'll just kind of revert it back to how it is now. They'll be like, alright, so Soothing Mist is on, these two are an instant cast, continue. That I think will go a long ways to adding more familiarity to the class, keeping it more or less the same, at least in the single target rotation, The blanket area heal would change. Again, that's fine because the renewing mist uplift combo wasn't that fun. The removal of chi, while it kind of takes away some of the familiarity with the monk class, in the sense that you used to have all the specs having chi, now it's only Windwalker. That's kind of a bummer, but not the end of the world. Fist weaving, I don't mind the loss of this as much. We're still going to have melee abilities, we're still going to be able to PvE fine, so that's cool. But it does suck that we don't have an alternate way to heal anymore. Kind of bring this back. Give us the option. Do something other than just chop it out because it was too hard to balance. But I'm hoping they do something like that. The statue isn't gone. There's a talent to bring that back. Overall, beta is going to tell us kind of what their direction are. If there's no way to make these two spells instant cast, and they're stuck as cast times, that's when I think the pitchforks are going to come out, and they'd be like, alright, you've changed us back into one of these normal caster healers that we were specifically trying to get away with when we went to Mistweaver. So, I hope Blizzard hears this. I think the best thing we can do now is give them feedback, tweet at them, MMO Champion, forums, Reddit, all good places to go. I'm going to try and put links in the description to each of those places, give people an idea of where to go to provide feedback. And I want everyone to voice as much as you want, or voice everything you think they should hear, because without it, the developers won't make positive changes, but also phrase it constructively. Sitting there yelling on the internet won't help anything unless you can provide some kind of don't do it like this, do it like this. Offers suggestions. So, thanks everyone for watching. I've been Elusive Table. Hope to see you in game. Take care. Bye.